What are the environmental impacts of fishing and how can they be mitigated? If you're a boating enthusiast or just someone who cares about the health of our oceans, you might be wondering about the environmental impacts of fishing and what we can do to mitigate them. Let's break it down. Fishing, especially when done unsustainably, can have severe environmental consequences. One of the main issues is overfishing, which reduces fish populations and can lead to the extinction of entire species. This not only affects the fish themselves, but also the entire ecosystem, reducing biodiversity and impacting other animals that rely on fish for food. Another significant problem is the damage caused by destructive fishing practices like bottom trawling. This method involves dragging large nets across the ocean floor, picking up all sea life in its path, and causing massive habitat damage. It also releases carbon stored in seafloor sediment into the atmosphere, contributing to climate change. Fishing fleets also contribute to greenhouse gas emissions. For example, the EU's fishing fleets alone emit 7.3 million tons of CO2 each year. This is exacerbated by practices like bottom trawling, which further disrupts the seafloor and releases more carbon. In addition to these issues, fishing gear can result in bycatch, the catching of non-target species like dolphins, seabirds, turtles, and other fish. This can be particularly harmful when fishing lines and nets are lost at sea and continue to kill animals long after the boats have left. So how can we mitigate these impacts? One key approach is sustainable fishing practices. This involves managing fish populations to ensure they remain healthy and sustainable in the long term. This can be achieved through measures like setting quotas and creating open and closed fishing seasons to allow fish populations to grow and reproduce. Changing the type of fishing gear used is also crucial. For instance, increasing the mesh size of fishing nets and prohibiting long-line fishing in favor of hand-line fishing can significantly reduce bycatch and habitat damage. Establishing reserves and replenishing zones where no fishing is allowed can provide safe areas for fish to grow and reproduce. Community-led management systems have been shown to be effective in balancing the needs of both the fish populations and the people who depend on fishing for their livelihoods. These systems involve regulating gear, establishing protected areas, and sometimes closing fisheries for a period to allow populations to recover. Modifying fishing gear to reduce bycatch is another important step. This can include adding exclusionary devices to nets to allow large marine animals to escape and using bird-scaring lines or acoustic pingers to repel marine mammals. Fishing at night instead of during the day can also reduce seabird entanglements. Finally, adopting more responsible behaviors among fishers is vital. This includes becoming a registered fisher, recording fish catch, respecting fishing regulations, and participating in fisheries management. These behaviors help in creating more sustainable coastal fisheries. By implementing these measures, we can significantly reduce the environmental impacts of fishing and ensure that our oceans remain healthy and thriving for generations to come.